Are we live? This morning's top goes to the Joseph Rafferty Club in Kirkcaldy. You remember that big huge banner they used to have? Could he be the best signings or one of the best signings ever in Scottish football history? We're going to talk about a Celtic striker, Derek McInnes. You know how the Sevconians love talking about Celtic. He's at it again today. Leila Bada will be sold this summer. There's a few people on the channel that wouldn't be surprised at that and wouldn't be too bothered if he was actually sold. Haksabanovic talks about a derby that he's going to play in that could just be a little bit beefier than the Celtic Sevco derby. Ange Postecoglou included an 18-year-old Ben Summers in the team at the weekend, and he talks about him. And then it's a little nod to the Celtic Star. They put up a couple of pictures of the old Jungle Boys, and we'll talk slightly about that. But then we'll go into the comment section from yesterday's video at the end of this. So, back to the main story. Could Kyogo Furuhashi be the best signing in Scottish football history? The 28-year-old has obviously just played 18 months for Celtic under Ange Postecoglou. He was signed back in July 2021 for 4.6 million was that value for money. In the first season, he registered 20 goals and 5 assists in 33 appearances across all games. This season, he's took it to a different level. He's scored 26 goals in 38 games to date, and he's just been on fantastic form. As value for money goes, how good is it? How good is that value for money? You have to remember that when he came to Celtic, Celtic had just seen Sevco take the title. Celtic had a really bad season the year before. It was a massive player to bring in. He scored a double in the League Cup final last season. He scored another double in the League Cup final as well. He's just a fantastic player. Tell me in the comments what you really think about Kyogo Furuhashi. Someone that loves talking about Celtic, the man, the ex-Sevconian player, Derek McInnes, who's now manager, says that Ange Postecoglou should walk a mile in his shoes. No thanks. No thanks at all. Anyway, back to the Leila Bada story. Leila Bada has been said could be sold this summer. Leila Bada was bought for 3.5 million. He turned down a new contract just before Christmas at Celtic. It's been suggested that he now wants to go and play for one of the European big guns down south. Many times have we heard this from players. They want to go to the bigger league and the bigger wages and test themselves, and they end up going into complete obscurity and they never get into the Champions League, and they'll maybe play for a mid-table league a mid-table team down in England, and then basically just become completely obscure and probably ruin what has got the potential to be a really good career for the lad. We've seen it happen too many times before, and as much as people talk up the English league, is it just all about money? Personally, I think it is. I think the Spanish league's a lot better. I'll watch that. So anyway, Celtic offered him a contract. He didn't agree. It has been suggested he now wants to be sold. There is a 90% chance he will move to the Premier League in England this summer. Tell me your comments on that. Said Haksabanovic is looking forward to a Balkan derby. And the reason that this derby is got a bit of beef about it, it's the former Yugoslavian nations. So Montenegro will face up to Bulgaria. And then there's obviously a bit of spice going back to 2006 when they became separate nations. But he says playing in the Glasgow derby has him ready for that match. So we hope all is safe. Ange Postecoglou brought in an 18-year-old to the squad who's been training with the first team at Lennoxtown. Postecoglou is seemingly excited about the youngster coming through at Lennoxtown. He went on to say that he's been training for the first team for a while. He looks the part, describing him as really strong. He says that obviously there was a couple of injuries in the midfield area with Aaron Moy and Tomoki out. Ben has been training with us for a little while. He's been really strong in the B team this year and performing well. He looks the part in training. We needed another midfield player on the bench today, so he gets his chance. A big club, it's really hard to get that opportunity, but like he does today, it's just unfortunate that he didn't get onto the pitch at the weekend. It would have been really good to get him some game time. The 18-year-old is out of contract this summer, so maybe Ange Postecoglou bringing him in and putting him in beside the first team is letting him know that he has a future here. We don't really want to be losing any more talent from the B team, that's for sure. And then obviously a quick nod to the CelticStar.com. I had a look at their site this morning, and they brought out some pictures from a guy on Twitter that posted them, Liam Kelly. I'm sure I know you, Liam. Anyway, Liam brought out some pictures from the Jungle Boys from back in the early 2000s, and then obviously the Jungle Boys, a lot of the boys from the Jungle Boys were actually the founding members of the Green Brigade. So yeah, it's just a little nod to the CelticStar.com for that article this morning. So let's jump on to the comments from yesterday's video. Yeah, it was last night's video, where Celtics fans and the refugees welcome banner from the Green Brigade, and also the fact that Ange Postecoglou says that O is going to be a fantastic player for us. The first one is John. He says respect to the Green Brigade. Kevin then went to say O is going to be a handful. I can see 4-4-2 team needed physical presence that O provided. We'll see it again. And Haksabanovic popped up with 2 brilliant goals from the bench. As far as for the 7,000 allocation, it does add to a special atmosphere. It has to come back at some point. I don't think Sevco will ever want to go back to it. That's just the way they are. Something today says great banner, a great game. Hibs during couldn't come to terms with the ref sending off. Yep, giving us a penalty too. I know, something today. Anyway, this is an interesting one. I'm a Celtic fan, but I don't agree with the woke nonsense from the Green Brigades. Really? So you don't agree with the ethos and the founding that Celtic was built on? Interesting. The Childish put up a banner because the Tories put up some legislation about mass immigration. I always love it when people come on and they have their fake names and stuff, but never mind. By the way, your statement that Celtic was founded on refugees and refugees was not correct, is it not? Okay, it was founded for Ireland, which was still much part of the UK. I could see where you come from. Anyway, never mind. Another one. John Cusick says, "Oh, aye, great. Refugees welcome until the native population is replaced by brown and black people and the UK ceases to be the UK anymore." Yep, sound logic, you absolute twat. Most of these people are not even refugees. They are mostly fighting age men. They're already causing chaos. Great logic. John Cusick, you're a clown. An absolute clown. Anyway, New Rangers banner says 6 hail hail. 7 says new Rangers banner will be referees are welcome, stop the Fenians. It will be that. Paul Bear said hail hail. And then Take says, oh no, this is a great start, and there's been all kinds of formation changes, and he basically got to do. Sorry, I'm a bit those comments are just uncalled for. They're definitely not Celtic fans anyway. If you were a Celtic fan, you would never come out with crap like that, John Cusick. So I'm going to make you famous, John Cusick. I'm going to make sure that this comment does reach the video today. And it's quite sad that you actually have that, because you're a complete clown.